We're live. It's that first second or two, it's kind of awkward and odd because I don't really know if I'm live or not. It says I am, but there's such a weird delay, so it's always weird. But hi, it's Friday. I'm here. You're here. Lots of YouTubers are already here. Regina, we're so glad you're feeling better. Oh my gosh, so glad, so glad. Hi, Colleen, my love. Kathy, Karen, Anita, Deborah, whoever I missed, I love you. I'm so glad you're here. It's so good to see everybody. Facebook's starting to log on as well. Hello to all my Facebook friends. Kathy, Donna, Charlene, Jacqueline. I'm so glad to see all of you. I am. It's Friday. It's Feel Good Friday. We've made it through another week. That is reason to celebrate all on its own. But we also celebrate because it's Feel Good Friday. Feel Good Friday is my favorite day of the week because Feel Good Friday is when we put together easy, instant gratification, beautiful jewelry that you can easily get and put together yourself because the kits are in my Etsy shop. And that just makes things super easy. 1, 2, 3, all you got to do, right? And I do my best to get everything packaged and shipped first thing on Monday morning so that you get your packages as soon as possible, but be mindful of the fact that this past week packages are running a little bit behind because there was a holiday on Monday. And so things didn't get shipped on Monday. They got shipped on Tuesday. So it was a day delay. So if you're used to getting your package really quick, just remember, at least from last week, that there was a whole day. There was a whole day where we had no mail. Hate those days. I love to get my mail. I don't know about you, but I look forward to the mail running every day, as do my dogs who bark like crazy when they hear the mail, the FedEx or UPS coming through. Yeah. And that being said, the dogs are in the office today. I've been keeping them out except for my hardwired lives. I don't know if anybody has noticed or not, but I've not been having the dogs in here because somebody made a comment on YouTube that, I don't know, it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So I had been putting the dogs downstairs during my lives. And today, as I was like getting ready for today's show, I was like, you know what? I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not going to make apologies. My dogs bark. That's what they do. And if you don't like the way that I handle it by talking to my dogs, then that's your opinion, right? I still love you and hug you and care for you. But if you're not Caesar Milan, you don't really get a say. Just saying. I'm sorry if they are distracting, but they are our unofficial mascots and would most definitely qualify as my, what do you call it? My emotional support animals, that's for sure. They've gotten me through a whole lot the past year and a half. And so if they bark when the mail comes, that's what dogs do. If you don't like the way I react to it, that's what people do. Right? So yeah. Yeah, the dogs stay, says Laurie. Agreed. The dogs stay. I'm sorry. They just do. They just do. That's what you get here. You get chit chat here. You get dogs barking. That's just what we do here. So I love it. Wanda, you're just the greatest. You're just the greatest. She said, if you don't like something about the live, Sara Lovecraft Designs will refund your entire admission cost. And you can take that to the bank, my friends. Well said, Wanda. I love you so much. I love you so much. All right, so enough of that. Dogs are better than humans in a lot of instances, Cindy. I would agree with you 110%. I've got a bumper sticker on the back of my car that says dogs because people suck. So if my dogs bark, I'm okay with it. It's like music to my ears. All right. So anyway, let's get on with it. You guys, so somebody mentioned right at the beginning, they were like, did Sara put 11 new items in her shop or am I just losing it? Okay. So let's back up a minute. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, even I'm getting confused here. 7, 6. There's a lot of new stuff in the shop, but you got to look real careful at the listing because I listed new jewelry last night. It was a set. It's a necklace, a bracelet, and earrings. So don't get those confused because those are not kits. That's just a finished three finished designs. They actually all go together. I'll show them to you at the end if you want to see them. They're made from serpentine beads that are and yeah, just gorgeous, all types of gorgeous. So you can buy those, but those are finished pieces. But as far as the kits are concerned, yeah, I got lots of kits today, lots and lots and lots. So I've got a lot to show you. We're going to get started with the maker mix, and then we're gonna do some things. Are they production assistants or supervisors, Darla? They're definitely supervisors. She's talking about the dogs, y'all. Supervisors, indeed. Yes, yes, yes. I'm just, yeah. I'm just the person. I'm just the person, right? They're totally in charge. I'm just the face of this operation. Cooper and Albert, they're all about it. Okay, so let's get started, shall we? 7 kits, 1 maker mix. That's right. They are definitely the bosses. All right, we're going to start with our maker mix because we always start with our maker mix. In fact, I've got an announcement for a winner today. So I'm going to give that to you here in just a second, but let's take a look at the maker mix. So guys, this was inspired by my dear, dear friend Neelay. For everybody who came to Neelay's live last night and was there while I put together a necklace using his latest kit. Oh, thank you so much for your support. And wasn't it a beautiful kit? Oh my gosh. Yes. Purple and red. So I was inspired. So that's what I used to put together our maker mix for this week. This one is called Mad as a Hatter, and it is all beautiful reds and purples. It's definitely not your everyday Valentine's mix, but it still has that kind of Valentine's theme going on. There are lots of roses and flowers in this. So there are the acrylic roses, there are check glass flowers, there are leaves, there are bell flowers, lots of check glass, there are bicones. It's just a really beautiful mix for those of you who like crazy in your face color combos. And this one is one of my absolute favorite color combos right now. So yeah, purple and red's the name of the game for the maker mix. So as far as maker mixes are concerned, for those of you who are new, once a month, you can buy up all the maker mixes that you want out of my shop and create a piece of jewelry using the maker mix, post it, and your name gets entered in a drawing to win a goodie bag from me, right? Well, you don't have to make a wonderful piece of, like, okay, yeah, everything you make is going to be wonderful. That's not really what I mean. What I mean is we're not voting on the piece of jewelry. We're just taking your name and entering it into a drawing. So don't be intimidated, right? Even if it's just something simple and pretty and fun, that's cool too. You still get entered to win. So this month's winner from our drawing is Michaela Davis. So congratulations, Michaela. I'll be putting together a goodie bag for you and shipping it out as soon as possible. Okay. All right. So I'm going to set this maker mix to the side because we got a lot to do today. All right. Let's start with 2 kits that are bracelet kits that are actually restocks of really popular kits, but are just in new beads. Okay. So I'm going to start out with the beautiful copper. All right, let's put together beautiful copper. So this design, you guys, we've done this design a bunch. And the reason that we do this design a bunch is because it is so, so popular. And I always mix it up with different beads, different charms. And this time I've got some amazing beads from Danielle Wicks and amazing charms from Danielle Wicks as well. These charms, she gets these from Nunn Design. They're so pretty. So this one is copper. This is a shank style button for our button clasp. And then a bee charm that matches it, also from Nunn Design. You guys, I'm telling you, I am so spoiled by Danielle. It's just not even funny. This one also has a really beautiful copper heart because love is in the air. And then check out these beads. So these check glass beads are these kind of two-tone beads, but they have this crazy metallic shift in them that I don't know. There's just something about them. They shift from blue to green. They have copper, and they also have like this warm amber color. They're really beautiful. So let's put this together real quick. Okay. This is just a simple stringing project. You guys have seen me do it a bunch, but it never hurts to see it again, just for the crimping part. Right. And let's see, I didn't even put any crimp beads out here to put this together. Let me grab some crimp beads real quick. And we will get started with this one. All right. So there's a couple of crimps, more than I needed, but that's all right. Okay, so this is just simple stringing. So everything in the kit, you get everything you need to put together this really beautiful, fun bracelet. You guys really love this style, and I'm always happy to oblige. And it's fun to remake this one with different colors and different beads. So I hope that you don't ever change your mind about this one. All right, so I'm going to take my bead stringing wire. I'm going to thread on a crimp tube. Okay. And this is copper colored bead string wire and copper findings here. And I'm going to thread on a wire guardian. Take the wire up and then back down through the wire guardian and then down through the crimp tube. Robin says she can't wait to get her order from Danielle Wicks. You will not be disappointed. She's amazing. She is truly, truly amazing. All right, so now I'm going to come in with my crimper tool. I'm going to use that back notch of the crimper tool. It's the one that looks like a macaroni noodle. It's got that tooth that comes down. When that tooth comes down on your crimp bead or your crimp tube, it helps to further separate out the bead stringing wire within the bead, right? The metal clamps down and separates them out so they're not touching each other. So you want to start out already making sure that those wires are not crisscrossing each other inside the crimp. Place it into that back notch of the crimper tool and give it a crimp, and you can see that it even further separates out the wires. You're going to turn it sideways and you're going to put it in the front notch of the crimper tool and you're going to give it a squeeze. All this does is just makes it a little bit more compact, really small, nice and neat and clean. Okay. So now I'm going to come in with my cutter tool and I'm going to trim off the excess, because if you've crimped properly, you don't need any of that extra wire for anything. All right, now I'm just going to do some simple stringing here. So we're going to thread on our beads and we're going to put metal beads. Whoa, we're going to put metal beads in between them. I just threw that one into my lap because, you know, if there aren't beads on the floor, we're not doing this right. All right, so I'm just going to thread on, alternating between these amazing Druck beads and the copper metal beads. Color combo is everything. Such a pretty color combination that you're really going to be able to wear all year. This is definitely not a spring only or a fall only. Like, copper can definitely be worn all year. And I think part of the reason everybody likes this design so much, number one, is because it's simple, but number two is it's always trending. Like, this bracelet design is always trending, and there's no real clasp for this. And that can be a struggle with bracelets, particularly if you have dexterity issues, or maybe you're just like me and you're just by yourself and putting on your bracelets by yourself. I have so many bracelets that's like, I need somebody to help me put my jewelry on for me. But if you've got a button and a leather loop, you don't have to have any help putting your jewelry on. And that's always a bonus, right? Easy to wear, and it's also awesome. So Amanda says, I had crimp tubes split open when they crimp. Does that mean they're junk? Yeah, kind of does. And you know what? That actually happens, not often, but sometimes you just get a bad batch, you know, and that happens with all brands. But of course, I'm partial because I'm a Beadalon designer, but the Beadalon crimp tubes, they really are my all-time favorite. And I've tried a lot. They really have, the best quality. Sometimes crimp tubes can be really, really thin. And I find that if you are buying sterling silver crimp tubes, that tends to be the case with those as well. Like, I think people think that sterling silver means, you know, because it's sterling silver, it should be the best quality in the world. But sometimes the crimp tubes that are, or crimp beads that are sterling silver can be a little on the soft side, and they have a tendency to crack on you. So not all sterling silver is created the same. I stick with what I know is good, and that's just the Beadalon ones. And I like them because they come in the little tubes, right? And I can just toss these to the side. And what's cool is that you get these little jars, and I will restock. So I'll buy like a pouch of the Beadalon crimps and just refill this. So I'm doing my part to save the environment. Just kidding. I mean, it is good to recycle, but I don't think that I'm making a huge impact with my little crimp tube container, but I do like that I can reuse it over and over again. All right. So through my wire guardian, back down through my crimp. So we're just going to crimp on this end as well, right? We've just done straight stringing, nothing too super spectacularly fancy, and definitely nothing hard. Friday's all about instant gratification jewelry. Easy peasy, right? Making sure that the bead string and wire, again, is not crossing within that crimp tube. We're going to come in with our crimper tool, back notch first, give it a squeeze, turn it sideways, and give it another squeeze. Okay, then we're going to come in with our cutter tool and trim off whatever is left over. And now we're ready to assemble our bracelet. So super, super easy. I use a couple of jump rings here. Let me grab my tools. All right, so I'm going to use a jump ring. I'm going to thread that onto the back of my button, and I'm going to attach that to one of my wire guardians. So the button is on one side. Okay, that's our clasp. And down here on the other side, I'm going to attach our decorative ring. So I'm going to open this up, and we're going to attach our decorative ring. Now, why the decorative ring? Well, because it's decorative and it's pretty. You know, it's pretty, and it's an opportunity to add charms, and that's dangles. You guys know how much I love dangles, so I'm all about that. So I'm going to add my heart charm and my bee charm to this. They both come with twisted jump rings, which match our twisted decorative ring here. Just going to thread those on. And of course, the ring is nice and big, so you can always add your own charms to this to further personalize it if you want to. Which is also good if you're going to give this as like a gift. How pretty is that, right? Now, last but not least is our piece of leather. This one I've used previously, so that's why it's all bent out of shape. Here's a good piece. This will be in the kit. I'm going to take that leather. I'm going to thread it through my decorative ring. I'm going to bring my ends together to find the halfway point, and I'm going to tie an overhanded knot. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to tie another knot, but I want to leave like a little opening here that is big enough to accommodate my button, because that's how our bracelet is going to stay on. So I kind of mark it with my finger, just keep an eye on it, tie your overhanded knot, but before you pull it down tight, make sure that your loop that you're leaving here is big enough to accommodate your button. And then just cinch down your leather. Now, your leather piece is longer than the one that I'm using, because the one that I'm using has already been trimmed. Does Beadalon have copper crimp covers? You know what? I don't think they do. I don't think they do. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've shopped for crimp covers. And that's it, you guys. That's it. Now, I know we've done this bracelet a million times, but what makes this one special is this one's different because the beads are different. It never hurts to see, again, how to put this one together. And there you go, right? So pretty. It's so, so pretty. I apologize for this ugly yellow bead mat because I feel like it's kind of taken away from the colors of this bracelet. It's so beautiful. Really, really love this design. And I know you guys do too, because this design in particular, no matter what color it is, it sells out super, super quick from the shop. So knowing that in advance, if this is on your mind, don't wait too long, because this one will be gone by the end of either today or tomorrow for sure. Okay. All right. So that's our first bracelet, which is just a restock in a new colorway. I've got another one that is also a restock in a new colorway. Okay, so this one's all about purple and very, very similar. This one is put together very similarly. So you've got your leather. Mine's already, you know, put together, but we're basically doing the exact same leather situation, but we're not using a button this time. Instead, this time we're going to use a really big, beautiful clasp, again with the heart, because love is in the air. Maybe not for me, but maybe for you. All right, this is going to be our clasp, which is our leather piece that is set up the same way as our previous, but we don't have a button. Instead, we're going to use this little area right here to attach the length and a charm to our bracelet. So let me show you. This one is in silver. So if copper is not your thing, this one is in silver. We've got a silver bee charm that we are going to hang from our little leather clasp area here. And this is a double strand bracelet with these beautiful check glass rondelles from Danielle Wicks in purple. Because who doesn't love purple? We've got purple on the brain these days. So one strand is already done. I'm going to put the second strand together. Part of it is already done as well, just to save time. Because like I said, we've done this bracelet design together before previously. But just for those of you who maybe haven't seen this one before, I'm going to finish off this strand and then I will assemble all of this together. Okay, so I've got 4 beads left that need to go onto this strand. We're going to just use some eye pins to do that. We're going to do some simple loops. Okay, so we'll do 4 of these. So you're just going to thread your bead onto an eye pin. And we're not doing a wrapped loop here. We're just doing a simple loop. So we're just going to bend the wire right where it is exiting the bead, right? Not over the top of the pliers, just right where it is exiting the bead. We're going to come in with our cutter tool and we're going to trim off. You want to leave yourself about 1/4 of an inch of wire. That's what it's going to take to create a simple loop. You're going to come in with your round nose pliers, grabbing that wire, and you just want to roll back towards your hand and towards the bead to finish off your loop. Okay, so you're going to do that with all of the beads. We're going to do it 3 more times just for good practice, but you're going to want to do that with all of the beads, right? So we're going to do it again. Just grabbing the wire where it exits the bead. We're going to give it a bend. We're going to come in. Trim off. And we're going to use our round nose pliers to roll back to close up our loop. Yes, Nicole. Thank you, Nicole. Nicole says yes. Beadalon has copper-plated crimp covers. They always have everything. I don't know why but I haven't bought any in a while. So, and you can use my affiliate link if you want to grab some. Prudence says you run your loops in the same direction. Guess I've been doing it wrong. Well, here's the thing, Prudence. So it really kind of just depends on the design, honestly. So it really depends. For this design in particular, it doesn't make a difference one way or another. It really doesn't. But sometimes you need those loops to be facing the same direction. Sometimes you need one of them to be going one way and one of them to be going the other way. It's really just dependent on the design. But when it's a design where it doesn't make any difference one way or another, then I don't know, just out of habit, I make my loops go the same direction. But I really don't think that when you're making a beaded chain that it makes much of a difference. All right, so now what we're going to do is all those little loops that we just created, we are going to attach them together by just opening and closing each one of those. So I'm going to open up a loop, and you open that with a twist like you would a jump ring, right? We're going to thread that on to a previous loop. We're going to close that back. Open, add another one, and that's how you build your chain here. All right, so you're just adding and then opening, adding, closing, moving on to the next one, opening, attaching, closing, until you've got all of them, right? And you've got enough beads in your kit to do 2 strands. So I think that's, let's see, 3, 6, 9, 10. You've got 20 of these beads, and that'll make 2 beaded chains for you. You've got all of the head pins that you need for that, or I'm sorry, the eye pins that you need for that and everything. So if you need to adjust the length, though, this is where you're going to do that. You're going to do a length adjustment with your piece of leather. So if you need a longer bracelet, then you want to make your leather section a little bit longer, meaning you want to stretch out where you put your knots in this. Or if you need it to be shorter, you can shorten this down and put your knots closer together. Okay. So as far as just assembly goes, it's just some jump rings. So I'm going to use jump ring here, And I'm going to put a jump ring on each end of my chain, and then I'm going to attach it to the clasp. So each one of these beaded chains is going to attach with a jump ring. Okay. Just like that. So those both attach to the loop on the clasp. Then down here on the other end, we're also going to use jump rings, but the jump rings are going to attach to the leather. So pick the innermost piece of the leather here and just attach with your jump ring, right? And that's going to slide back and forth when it's not on. When it's on, it doesn't do that. Obviously, your wrist will take up all the room that it needs in there. We're going to do the same thing with the other chain here, our beaded chain. Whoops. Whoops. Get my fingers in there. All right, just like that. Okay. So that's going to be your bracelet, but we've got this whole other piece of leather here where we're going to add a charm. And again, there's enough room here to add more charms. If you want to personalize this any further, you absolutely can. But your kit comes with a bee charm from Nun Design from our dear friend Danielle Wicks. And there you go. So there's our purple bracelet. Again, it's just a restock because we've done this bracelet in different colors, but this time we've got it in purple and silver with a bee charm, which is just absolutely beautiful. So there you go. Look at those beads. Are they not gorgeous? They really are just so, so pretty. They're purple, but they're like this milky, yummy purple, right? There's just something about them. They're very gemstone feeling, right? Even though it's a glass rondelle, because it has those variations running through, they're just awesome. So there you go. There's our second bracelet for the day. All right. Question, is it better to attach them separately or together? What are we attaching separately or together? I attach them separately to, if we're talking about this, the beaded chains here, I attach them separately with 2 different jump rings instead of connecting them and then attaching them, if that makes any sense. I'm not entirely sure what the question is referring to, but I definitely do mine separately. I just feel like it wears a little bit better and they lay better, right? If you attach them separately, they tend to lay better. If you attach them together, they have a tendency to twist up on you. And I'm just not a fan. I like for it to look like a multi-strand design. All right, I'm going to sit this one to the side because we're not stopping. We've got more things coming. Let's do a quick and easy design before we delve into some of the other things. Actually, I've got 2 quick and easy designs for you guys. Let's do the first one. So this one is a request from all of you because last week we did a Lampwork bead bracelet and I asked if you guys would be interested in having the matching earrings with this. So you said yes, and I obliged. So we're going to put together the matching earrings. These are super, super easy. If you got the bracelet from last week, these earrings are going to match that perfectly. Even if you didn't get the bracelet from last week, these are still gorgeous earrings. They're perfect for springtime with the soft, soft pinks and the green and this gorgeous Lampwork bead. So we're going to put that together real quick. So we are going to take a head pin. We're going to thread on our metal bead. We're going to thread on our Lampwork bead. And then we're going to thread on a pink rondelle. Okay. And we're going to do a wrapped loop. You could do a simple loop if you want to. But I'm going to do a wrapped loop here. So I'm just going to bend the wire over the top of the pliers. I'm coming in with my round nose pliers. I'm going to take that wire, take the wire up and over the top barrel of the pliers. We're going to rotate the pliers so that that bottom barrel is now on the top so that we can take the wire over to the other side. Okay. And then we're just going to wire wrap in the space between the loops. that you create in the bead. All right. Now, don't forget, guys, all of the stuff that you need to make these are available in the kits that are available in the Etsy shop. Okay, that's what our Fridays are all about. You can get all the things to make these wonderful pieces in the Etsy shop. All right, so there is our focal for our earring. And I'm using these large fishhook earrings. I really like these, and I feel like we don't use them enough. And they're cool because you can thread beads onto them. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to take a metal bead. Actually, you know what? Let's put our focal on first before we do that. So drop our focal down just like that. Okay. Now we're going to thread on a metal bead. We're going to thread on a green faceted rondelle, a little baby pink faceted rondelle, and another metal bead. Now, you still have plenty of room to put this in your ear. The beads don't take up any of that space. It's just a really cool way to dress up your ear wire. And that's it. Super easy. Super, super easy. And these are so, so pretty. Again, these match the bracelet that we put together last week. So if you're looking to have the full set, you can grab the earrings kits today in the Etsy shop. If not, these are just really beautiful earrings for spring, even if you don't have the bracelet, right? So there you go. Okay. And just in case anybody's looking, the bracelet kit sold out. So it's just the earrings. The bracelet kit sold out from last week. So those of you who got one, you got one just in time, because they did not last in the shop at all. They sold out super quick. So there are the earrings, and I assume they'll probably sell out pretty quickly too. All right, moving on. We are vintage inspired for all of the rest of the things coming up here. Okay. So we've got some earrings, these beautiful brass earrings that we're going to put together, and they come two different ways. They're exactly the same, but they're going to come two different ways. So the one I'm going to show you is with magnesite. So there are these beautiful vintage scalloped focals with a freshwater pearl wire wrapped onto it, and then a magnesite drop. And they just have this wonderful, very Victorian or very vintage feel to them. Like they just have this old world kind of style. Okay. So this is one of the ones, and I'm going to put that together. But I ended up having more of the scallops than I did the magnesite beads. So I still wanted to offer them anyway, because they're gorgeous. So I've got these with the check glass in this like amazing milky green color, which is just as pretty. So either one of these, I know this is coming across kind of blue on camera, but it's not. I promise it's green. These check glass beads came from Sam's Bead Shop. So both go together exactly the same way. You just got to pick when you're checking out if you want the magnesite drop or the check glass drop, but they're both gorgeous. All right, so let's put these together real quick. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to wire wrap our freshwater pearl in the middle of our little scallop here. So I'm going to take a piece of wire, and I'm going to wire wrap that to our little drop. And I'm going to do about 3 wire wraps, and it's just down in that little dip in the charm itself. I'm just going to wire wrap about 3 times. Okay. I'm going to come to the back. I'm going to trim off the excess. Okay. And now I don't, Patricia, right now I don't ship to Canada. I'm so sorry. I wish that I did. I have so many wonderful fans in Canada. Well, not fans. Okay. That's a really weird word for me to use. I don't like that. That sounds very pretentious. I have viewers from Canada. I'm never going to be comfortable calling that fans. Okay. That always ask me, and I don't right now, but hopefully I will have it. I'll have shipping available internationally soon. It's just a really weird thing to set up on Etsy, and I haven't been able to do it. All right. So I'm going to thread my freshwater pearl into the center, and then I'm going to wire wrap on the other side. So just kind of, and you have to go between your pearl and the edge of your little component here. Just go slow. And never be sorry about answering questions. I mean, asking questions. You don't have to apologize. You can ask as many questions as you want to. All right? That's what we're here for. All right. One more time around with the wire. Pull that down. Line it all up. And then I kind of flatten it. You don't have to flatten it if you don't want to. I mean, it's up to you, but I kind of like to flatten the wire up against the component and then trim off the excess. And it's that easy to add your little pearl here, right? So pretty. You could leave it plain if you wanted to, but I think it looks really good with the pearl in the middle. All right, so now I'm going to add my magnesite drop to this. I'm going to add that to a head pin, and I'm going to do a wrapped loop. So I'm coming in to give it a bend over the top of my chain nose pliers, and then I'm going to bring in my round nose pliers. Y'all are funny. We be fans. I'll take it, I guess. I don't know. I'm not like a famous person. I'm just a jewelry maker. All right, and then I'm going to wrap in the space between the loop and the top of our bead. And I'm going to come in with my cutter tool and trim off. Do you have any of the pink freshwater pearls you'd like to sell? I'll look. I don't think I have a ton, but I'll look and I'll let you know for sure. All right, now I'm just going to use a jump ring here. Just a brass jump ring that matches everything, and our brass little ear wire as well. Everything here matches so beautifully. And again, these things were brought to you by our dear friend Danielle. Danielle Wicks. All right. So I'm going to attach our drop to our jump ring, and then I'm just going to attach our jump ring to our component. Close that back. Make sure you get a good closure on that. And open up the ear wire, thread that on, and voila. You have a beautiful. Oh, thank you, Kathy. I'll take that any day, any day. All right. And then you've got some gorgeous, they're just romantic and lovely. Are they not? I'm such a fan. I'm such a fan of these earrings. And again, they're coming across as blue. I think it's because of this ugly yellow bead mat in the back that's really throwing the colors off. But I promise you, both of these beads, the check glass and the magnesite, they're most definitely green. And the magnesite just add to this like vintage feel because they have like, you know, I don't know, they just kind of have this mottled look to them. They're not just like a solid color. But yeah, either one of these you're going to be super happy with. I promise you. Even if you are going just for the check glass and all that's left is the magnesite, don't turn your nose up at them because these are gorgeous earrings. I'm not even going to lie. They're so beautiful. All right, moving on because I've got three. I have three more things to show you guys. One of these, I think we'll do them together. All right, so we'll do a 2-for-1 here. All right, so I've got these filigree pieces. Okay, I've got 2 different filigree pieces, and I'm all about adding beautiful roses to these. Actually, we're only going to put together one of these, it looks like. No, we're not. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, yeah. Okay. We're just going to do one set of the pearls. All right. So let me just show you. Okay. Let me show you the finished earring. What the finished earring looks like. One of them is the beautiful filigree fan. There's a crystal hanging. There are some glass pearls, but that's not all. Okay. That's not all because the filigree piece, though it looks beautiful all by itself, you have to just add the rose to it. So we're going to glue our roses to these as well. So that's one of the sets of the earrings here. Okay. And then the other set This one's almost ready. All I got to do to this one is add that in the ear wire. So the other one is very, very similar, but the drop is different. So this one, the drop is more kind of oval shaped, nice and long. Still got the pearls, right? So we're going to stack up some little pearls here. We're going to put some bead caps with them to just bring that brass up to the top. We've got a crystal bead to go on the bottom, just the same. And for these, we have this really beautiful, now I'm calling it pink in the Etsy shop. It's really mauve. This is more of like it's more of a purple pink than it is a pink. All right. And we're going to glue that right in there. Are these not the most beautiful? They're so romantic and just lovely. I really, really am a fan. So this is what all of these would look like, right? With the ear wires. We'll put one of them together. I don't want to get crazy with all the gluing here though, because somebody's got a kit coming to them, right? All right, so let's put this one together. All right, so we're gonna take let's do our crystal first. So we're gonna take a little head pin that's got a ball on the end, and we're gonna thread on, yes, very Victorian. We're gonna thread on our crystal, and we're gonna do just a simple loop with this one. Okay, so I'm gonna grab the wire. I'm gonna give the wire a bend. I'm gonna come in with my cutter tool, trim off just a little bit of that wire, and then I'm gonna bring in my round nose pliers and roll back to finish off that loop. Now I'm going to open that loop with my chain nose pliers by twisting it open. And I'm going to attach that to the bottom of our filigree. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to attach my pearls to the top here. Now this is really kind of out of the order that I'm going to do that I would do this, but I still want to be sure to show you all of the steps. Okay. So I would actually go ahead and glue the roses first before you do this part, just because it won't lay flat on your surface with the pearls. But just for the sake of the show, I'm going to go ahead and put this together. So I'm opening up an eye pin. I'm going to thread that onto the top of our filigree piece. Okay. And now I'm going to thread on a bead cap. I'm going to thread on a pearl. I'm going to thread on another bead cap and then a smaller pearl. Now these pearls, they're just glass pearls. They look kind of white on camera, but they are like the most soft pink in person. All right, so now I'm going to do a wrapped loop. So I'm going to grab the wire right where it is exiting that top bead. I'm going to give it a bend. I'm coming in with my round nose pliers, going up and over, rotating the pliers and taking the wire over to the other side. And then we're going to wire wrap in that space between our loop and the top of our bead. And then we're going to come in with our cutter tool and trim off the excess. All right, so before you add your pearls and everything to this, let's go ahead and add our ear wire. While you've got your filigree piece laying flat on a surface, that's when you're going to want to add your rose to this, okay? Because you can see I don't know if you can tell or not, it's sitting at kind of an angle right now. So I want to be sure that I glue that rose on there. None of these are glued down, by the way. I want to be sure that I'm gluing that onto the filigree piece ahead of time, letting it set up, let it get dry before you put these earrings on. So let's glue to one of these filigrees. So the fan-shaped ones have the blue rose, which is just gorgeous. And then the more long-shaped ones have this mauve-colored rose. So what I like to use for this is E6000. I don't use E6000 for a lot of things just because it's very, very toxic as far as fumes are concerned. It gives me a major headache. But sometimes there are times when you have to have E6000. That's one of these projects. So I just take like a piece of scrap paper and I'll put like the tiniest little amount on my scrap paper because it really does not take a lot at all. And you can use this scrap piece of wire if you want to like take it from the paper to the back of your rose. Or if that's too much of a hassle, which sometimes it is, let's be honest, that's just like, it's not always super effective. I'll lay the rose or whatever it is that I'm gluing down on top of the drop and then just kind of smear it across like that. That usually works the best, at least for me, in my opinion. So then I just want to kind of decide where I want my rose to be. If I want it to be in the middle, if I want it to be more down here towards the bottom. I kind of want mine more towards, it's off from center just a little bit, but not much, right? Now I'm just going to sit that on there. You don't have to push on it or anything. All you got to do is just sit it on there. Okay, don't use a big glop of glue, because if the glue is coming out the back of the filigree, it's going to glue down to whatever surface you're working on. But that's all the glue. I would just sit this to the side and I would let these dry overnight before you wear them, for sure. Give them at least 12 hours before you start adding your pearls and everything to this, just because you don't want that rose to slide out of its spot. So I definitely would just take it and sit it somewhere safe and let it dry overnight, and then move forward with putting your design together, right? And you're just going to do that the same with all of them. So the roses are not beads at all. They are definitely flat backs. You just want to put some E6000 onto them. The E6000 will adhere the roses to the metal. That's what it's made for, right? Question from Wanda: why use E6000 versus the hypo cement? So the hypo cement is just, in my opinion, it's not strong enough. I use hypo cement for just about everything except projects like this. The E6000 just has more of a grip to it. It really, really just is more grippy. And when I'm using something that's a larger surface area than like a knot, because that's where I always use the hypo cement, is like on knots. But when I'm using a larger surface area, E6000 is the way to go. I mean, it just really is. It's stronger. I feel like it lasts a million times longer, and it just has a better grip. But if the hypo cement's all you've got, you definitely can use. I'm not saying don't use it. I'm just saying that for me personally, I kind of prefer the E6000 for this. Are the roses drilled? They are not. They are just flat backs. They don't have a hole in them. You can't wire wrap them. These are just strictly for gluing on, right? And I don't use a lot of glue in jewelry making, but sometimes you just gotta, and this is one of those projects. So Prudence agrees. She glued her shoes with E6000. It's some strong stuff. It really is. But be sure that if you're using it in a small area, that you're like well ventilated. I don't know if you're like me. I'm super, super sensitive to it. And I have a tendency to get a migraine headache when I use the E6000. So make sure that, you know, if you're sensitive, that you're using it somewhere where you got a lot of airflow going on. All right. So those are the earrings. I'm going to slide these over to the side, and we're going to talk about the bracelet, because we've got a bracelet that is this very same, well, it's not the very same, but it's in the same fashion, if you will, as these. So we're going to put together a bracelet that has one of these filigree pieces as the focal of the bracelet. And we've got another beautiful rose to go right in the middle. And we're just going to build some beautiful beaded chains off of either side, right? So we're going to wire wrap some of these real quick. And then check out this toggle. This toggle is so beautiful. It's a crown. Look how pretty. It's a little crown toggle. So for those of you who are in the Straighten Your Crown group, this is love to you. For everybody else who just needs a little crown in your life, this is the way to go. Would you use E6000 for flat back crystals? It depends, Ruth. It depends on what is on the back of those crystals. If they are those metallic back, you know, if they have the foil backing to them, I don't use E6000 with that. I know some people say that you can. I don't, because I feel like it eats through the foil, even though it's not supposed to. But every time I've ever used it, it has. So if it's a foil back, I don't. I use glue that is specifically for chatons or however you say it, and crystals like that. Just because of the backing that can be on some of them. All right, so we're going to create our little beaded chain. Some of it is already ready. We're going to use some eye pins to do that. I'm going to just go ahead and add my eye pin to the beginnings of our little chain. So we've got faceted glass, we've got a pearl with the bead caps. We're coming up to the center bead, which is a large faceted glass bead. So pretty. Okay, we're going to do a simple loop. So just grabbing the wire, bending that, and I'm going to trim off, leaving myself about 1/4 of an inch of wire to create our simple loop. So there's our simple loop on that bead. Okay, take another eye pin and we're just going to repeat this little pattern. So we're going to do another pearl and then a smaller glass bead. And that'll be the other side of our bracelet. So eye pin, bead cap, glass pearl, bead cap, and we're going to do a simple loop. So I'm going to bend the wire. Me too. Loretta says it's ruined her crystals. Me too. My crystals, you know, they're just too expensive to risk it. So I would use like gem tack or something that's specifically designed for crystals. Okay, so another eye pin. And we're going to finish off our little chain with another of the small beads. Such a pretty combo of beads. It really is just beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to do another simple loop. So just bending the wire, trimming off the excess, and roll back to create our loop. All right, so you're going to do that for this side. You're going to do that for the other side. Those are going to come off of the center of our filigree piece here. We're going to attach those with some jump rings. So I'm going to open up a jump ring. I'm going to attach that to the filigree and then one end of our beaded chain on one side. Okay, and opening another one. I see a question. I see a question that says, where do you purchase it? It says eyelids. I know she means eye pins. Where do I purchase my eye pins? So my eye pins, I'm all about Beadalon. They're the very best quality. And if I can't get whatever I can't get from Beadalon, I get from Fire Mountain Gems, and it's just the Fire Mountain Gems brand. I feel like Beadalon and the Fire Mountain Gems brand really are the best quality as far as the metals are concerned for eye pins and head pins. All right, so now I just want to attach my clasp. So I'm going to do one end is going to have the toggle. I'm just going to open up that last loop on my beaded chain thread on the toggle bar for one side. Now, if you need to add length for this, you absolutely can. You can use jump rings here if you need to add length for sure. Right. And then on the other end, I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm just going to very carefully open up one of the loops at the end, thread on. Right. And that's it. That's it. You've got a really, really beautiful bracelet. Now, again, you've got your filigree piece here in the center, and you're going to add your, I mean, it looks beautiful without it, to be completely honest, but you're going to need to add your rose to the center of that. And I would do that ahead of time, just like with the earrings. I would do it ahead of time. I would glue it, set it to the side, give it about 12 hours overnight, and let it set up before you put everything together, right? Okay, sorry. Saw something, had to take care of it. All right, so there you go. There's our beautiful bracelet. Now I'm not going to glue it on because this is somebody's kit, I don't want to do somebody's work for them, right? But all of these, the earrings and the bracelet and everything else that you've seen in today's show are all available in the Etsy shop. And I gotta tell you, these are just so beautiful and sweet and romantic. They're just Victorian, just, I don't know. I'm a fan. Can you tell? That's why I did so many of these for today's project or for today's show. I did a lot of this style because I just love it. It's just so beautiful, right? They're so, so beautiful. All right, I'm going to turn you guys around. We're going to take one last look at everything. I'll show you the finished pieces that are in the shop as well, and then we will go for the day. So as I'm getting ready, turn you guys back around, I do want to mention that tomorrow I have a Michael's class at 1 p.m. Eastern time. You can sign up for that on the Michael's website. Don't forget to do that if you want to come and hang out with me tomorrow. All right, so let's just take a little look. Now I'm going to hold up the earrings. You have to just use your imagination because, again, the roses are not glued to them, but they're so pretty. They really are just so, so pretty. And when you add the rose to them, I mean, it just takes it to a whole nother love place, right? All right, here are the other ones. These are a little bit longer, but just as beautiful. Are they not? I wish that I had these pre-glued, but again, I didn't want to do anybody's kit for them because somebody's going to buy that and put it together, and I didn't want it to send it to them already pre-glued. And then our bracelet, of course, with our rose in the middle, but it's just a beautiful soft kind of yellowy gold. It's just really, really beautiful, right? Let's take a look at some of the other stuff real quick. So our earrings that match our bracelet from last week, super pretty. What's the deal here? I actually have a real ear underneath the hair there, right? So, so pretty. Those are really, really lovely. They match the bracelet from last week. And then we have these earrings that are just so yummy. Look at these. I love these. Are those not gorgeous? They really are. Like everything this week has just this romantic, lovely feel to it. You know, it's just like spring is, we're just counting down the days and we're going to be ready for love. I'll be Twitter-pated. Remember that from Bambi? I'll be Twitter-pated in the spring. I could only hope. Right? I don't know if I'll be Twitter-pated in the spring, but some of you will be, and I will be living vicariously through you, right? All right. So the bracelets, last but not least, I love these. So you can really kind of see better the color. We're not up against that weird yellow background. The beautiful antique copper and those gorgeous beads from Danielle Wicks. So cool. And then last but not least is the purple. So the double strand bracelet with the purple and the silver, super cute as well. I love the clasp on this one. Right? So there you go, guys. Yeah. All right, I'll show you real quick the finished pieces that are in the shop, just in case you're curious. I mean, I don't know, you might not be, but I mean, I am because I made them and they're beautiful and I would love to sell them. And I very rarely show finished pieces that are in my shop. So this necklace is serpentine. They're like high grade super serpentine too. These came from Sam. So this is the necklace. It's all a matching set. So there's the necklace, right? Just gemstone yumminess. And then I didn't stop there because, I mean, I had the beads. I might as well use them. So I also put together a matching bracelet to go with that. Has a really beautiful charm on it. So it's all copper. I've got lots of copper yumminess at the moment. You can see that charm. It has like flower design, but more of that serpentine, just beautifulness. And then last but not least is the earrings to go with it. So don't forget, okay? Don't forget, these are not kits. These are just finished pieces. Again, antique copper. It all goes together. It's just a matching set that I put together yesterday. So if anybody's interested, if this is your color, if this is your bead of choice, they're all listed individually though, just so you know. But the beads, these beads, they came from Sam, and I've been sitting on them for a while, not really sure what to do with them. And yesterday I was just like, you know what? It's time to put together a little beautiful set. So beautiful set it is in the shop. If you're looking for finished jewelry, make a great gift for somebody, right? Or just a present to yourself. I'm all about that. Present to yourself. All right, my dears. Thank you so much for joining me this week. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out on Tuesday for our project on Tuesday and for our Feel Good Friday show today. I always am just so grateful and thankful that you choose to spend part of your day with me and you let me be a part of your creative journey. It means the world to me. Yes, serpentine. That's what it is. Serpentine. Serpentine. I don't know how you say it, but that's what those beads are called. Let's see. Anything else I need to tell you guys? Yes, just a reminder that my Michael's class is tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern time. If you want to come and hang out, that is a completely free class. Also, I've got Sam next week on Tuesday. Sam from Sam's Bead Shop. We're going to be here. We're going to be using his new bead box to put together something fun and beautiful. It's always a good time when Sam is in the house. So looking forward to that for next week as well. And I think that's it, you guys. Thanks for joining me, Hardwires. I will see you guys at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. Anybody want to just take a little sneak peeky at what we do in the Hardwired group? Check out this bracelet. I think I've shown it to you before, but yeah, so that's what we do over in the Hardwired group. Enrollment for that will be open very, very soon. Kristen says, go Bills. No. Go Chiefs. Go Chiefs. All right, guys. I love you. Have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. Have a great weekend. If I don't see you tomorrow, I'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Love you guys. Bye.